Okay. Good evening. No, mute your mic, sir. I'm fine. Okay, you are all in, eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start our lesson. Today we'll be handling an introduction to environmental biology. And that is our subject for today. Our topic is ecosystem. Subtopic, principles of ecosystem. I am your lecturer, Mr. Alan Rono. Okay, our today's objectives are two. By the end of the session, trainees should be able to, one, describe the principles of ecosystem, two, explain energy flow in ecosystem. Are we together, class? Those are our main objectives that we are going to handle in our lesson. Okay, let's start with our first objective, that is describe the principles of ecosystem. Okay, the principles of ecosystems, we find that we have several principles of ecosystem. There are more than, I think, 7, but we'll only discuss a few, probably 5. The first principle of ecosystem states that the sun is the ultimate source of energy for most ecosystems. All organisms in the ecosystem derive their energy from the sun. That is, the source of energy is the sun, the ultimate. Secondly, second principle of ecosystem is that evolution organizes ecological system into hierarchies. You find that the principle is that evolution organizes ecological systems into hierarchies. That principle states that organisms are chemical machines that run on energy. And these organisms derive their energy from the light, they convert it into chemical energy. Therefore, most of the organisms derive are referred to as chemical machines because they convert their light energy into chemical energy. Fourth is that ecosystems are organized into webs of interactions. I think that one is clear. Ecosystems are organized into webs of interactions. And fifth is that organisms interact, do things to each other in a way that influence the abundance. They say that there is a role, or any organism in an ecosystem occupies a niche. Therefore, it states that there is a role that each and every organism plays in the life of other organisms. They depend on each other. That's why the interactions. Okay, with that, we enter our first objective. We now discuss the second objective, that is the energy flow in ecosystem. With the energy flow in ecosystem, energy flow is the flow of energy through living things within an ecosystem. All living organisms can be organized into producers and consumers, and those producers and consumers can further be organized into food chain. Food chain shows the relationship of organisms and depicts the energy flow in an ecosystem. In this food chain, the energy flow, we find that the energy that is from the sun is transferred to the organisms that are the producers, then to the consumers, and maybe later to the decomposers. This is the energy flow. Class, are we together?
Yes, you are together.
Yes, sir, we are together.
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to discuss these trophic levels. Who can tell us about producers?
Yes, sir.
Gilbert, say something about producers.
The producers, they create food for themselves.
Okay. That is true. They also provide energy for the rest of the ecosystem. Any green plant like a tree or grass, as well as algae and chemosynthetic bacteria, are producers. These producers are, they are known as this trophic level. The producers are known as a unique trophic level because it is only the producers that make their own food. They convert the light energy into chemical energy. Therefore, it makes them unique. It is only the producers that makes their own energy. And they occupy the first trophic level of an ecosystem. Hope we are together.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Secondly, we will discuss primary consumers. Kipng'eno, tell us about
Yes.
primary consumers.
Make up the second trophic level. They are also called herbivores.
Okay.
They eat primary producers, plants, or algae. For example, grasshopper.
Good. Okay, these are the primary consumers occupies the second trophic level of the producers. They mainly feed on the producers. Therefore, they feed on plants or algae and nothing else. For example, grasshopper. Even the goats, the sheep, the herbivores actually in general, they are in this group. So we will discuss that group. That is tertiary consumers. Tertiary consumers, this group occupies the third trophic level. There are those that feed on the secondary consumers. They are also known as large predators. For example, the owl that eats the snakes, even the whale that feeds on small fishes. Okay, I'm sorry. We forgot to talk about the secondary producers. With the secondary producers, this occupies the third trophic level. Secondary consumers are those that predate upon primary consumers. They are largely comprised of carnivores that feed on the primary consumers or herbivores. The secondary producers are the secondary consumers actually. There's another that's supposed to be secondary consumers. They predate upon primary consumers. Class, are we together?
Yes.
Okay, and lastly, tertiary consumers. Tertiary consumers are the last in the trophic levels. These ones are they're not the last actually, they're the second last in the trophic levels. They feed on the secondary consumers, for example, whale that eats snakes, And up to that place, we are done with the lesson of today. I'll only leave you with an assignment. And the assignment states that give reasons for the loss of energy from one trophic level to another in food chain. Thank you.
Welcome, Mwalimu, asante. Juliet anasema umeacha kurekod.